Do people who are killed make agreements with the killers before they're born? Or when your time is up, does the universe synchronize how it's going to happen? And what about those who die in mass, like tsunamis or plane crashes, etc.?
It's all agreed generally and sometimes specifically by the souls before the physical incarnation, linearly speaking. Now, there may be some degree of flexibility in exactly how it happens, and things may be chosen that are convenient for living that out from one source or another. But in general, those agreements are made because they are, in a sense, like actors deciding to play certain roles for the benefit of humanity to learn lessons. So sometimes those things, as bizarre as it may sound, are agreed to quite specifically before the incarnation because of the impact and effect it will have on society that will allow society to change things so that those kinds of choices and those kinds of agreements don't necessarily have any relevance in the future and are not made anymore. So, yes, souls will choose to do that in order to teach humanity lessons that can erase the need for those kinds of agreements to be made in the future.
So let's say
That's how humanity evolves.
So let's say someone has made a soul agreement to have a certain kind of death in this lifetime.
Yes.
And in the course of their lifetime, their vibration, which may have been in a very low state when they were a child because of the situation they were in, etc. But then they do work on themselves and they clear up a lot of negative beliefs and they transform themselves into a higher vibrational being.
Yes.
How does that affect the way the exit happens? Like, is that a way of making sure that your exit is pleasurable or good, or does that in any way shield you from a very unhappy kind of departure?
Don't think of it as shielding. In other words, if you create a certain situation that you learn from and you raise your vibration and create a life that is more positive, that is the challenge and the lesson that you laid out on your life.
But how does that affect the way that you die?
No, you're not understanding. The idea is this. All right, as a soul, here's the example. I have chosen to have certain kinds of experiences as a child that will be put upon me so that I will respond to them in a way that will allow me to break free from the things I don't prefer and will allow me to upgrade my vibration and become a person in a more positive way who has a more positive life. And I will then create from there the way I will exit based on what I have become in a more positive way. That's the entire equation. Now, if somebody says, I will raise my vibration, laying out their life path, and I will become this more positive person, and being this more positive person, I will then also choose to exit in a way that most people might find negative, that also will serve a purpose for someone to learn a lesson. All of it is laid out from the beginning to the end in terms of how you will exit. It's not that becoming one thing will change anything about how you already decided to exit for whatever purpose. Does that make sense?
Yes. So that involves a certain level of trust and almost angelic thinking in terms of the level of sacrifice people are willing to make.
It's not a sacrifice. Okay. It's a lesson that you're teaching. It's an opportunity that you're allowing humanity to learn lessons from. It's not a sacrifice, because the reason it's not a sacrifice is because you are an eternal, infinite soul. Nothing in that sense has been sacrificed. You have played a role. That's like saying, I'm going to see a play and there is a hero and a villain. The person playing the villain may, in the play, suffer what appears to be a death at the hands of the hero. It's not a sacrifice, it's just part of the play because the actor is still alive. It's just a story.
Well, it's very interesting to understand how we relate to our soul and the things we're attempting to learn here in this
Yes,
realm.
but it's just relating to yourself because you don't relate to your soul. You are your soul. So you're just relating to yourself, your true self.
Yes, like this question is, what is the difference between self and soul?
Nothing.
This is what they wanted to know, if the self gets punished and goes to hell, but the soul doesn't.
Nonsense. There is no separation. The self is the soul is the self. No one gets punished. All go home to heaven. All. No matter what. There is only one place to go. And in fact, you're there right now, as we have said many times. You never leave it. You're just pretending that you've left it. You're playing a part. You never, ever leave the spirit realm. You learn your lessons, you move on. You decide what you will do next. There is no punishment. There is only expansion, lessons, learning, opportunities. You can refuse to learn. If you want to call that a kind of hell, you can, because it will limit what you're capable of doing. But no one is being punished by anyone else. If there is punishment, you're punishing yourself. So stop doing that.